Join me on my very first gravel ride of the season and stick around to the end where I'll share a few fresh insights. Alright, so today is the first day that I've ridden in a really long time. Was able to come out on a group ride, but not necessarily ride with the group. I knew I wouldn't be able to keep up with them, so almost didn't come, but my friend encouraged me to come out, and she and I rode together. She's pretty fast, but she's had some health problems, so she didn't mind going a little bit slow and keep up with me. It's a beautiful day here in Eastern North Carolina. It is March the 3rd, and I think that the high today is supposed to be close to 69, and it's pretty warm right now. Of course, a lot of this ride is shade, and it is spectacular. A little bit of sunshine peeping through the overcast. Ridden most of the ride. My friend went ahead and she's going to keep riding, and I'm going to head back to the car. The rest of the group is probably already back to the car by now. So when I first started riding in Eastern North Carolina, I really didn't think there was much gravel to choose from, but I just have to put my bike on the car and go to it. There's actually more than I realized. And so this patch is right off Highway 24, about 20 minutes from my house. And I'm gonna ride this forestry road back to the car. Ooh, nice straight gravel with a little bit of bumps in the road. You can see a couple little hills up there. This is really typical forestry for here in Eastern North Carolina. Mostly pines, a little bit of shrub undergrowth. They do come in here and burn this from time to time. It's for fire prevention. I can show you some spots up here where it's been burnt recently. We've actually had a lot of rain the last couple of days, so the road is luckily not in too bad of a shape. Where there's little creeks and streams, good some water kind of running through, but not too bad. And it is absolutely stunning. So I've cut my hair since the last time I rode, and it's not long enough to put in a side braid, so like I feel very self-conscious about my ponytail. Oh, the joys of a female cyclist. I guess I shouldn't give a crap, so I'm not gonna give a crap. Wow, there's a hill. Woo! Hill in Eastern North Carolina. Okay, I don't know if you actually call that a hill or not, but it's a little bit of incline. This is an area that looks like it was logged and then has also been burnt recently. But then this side, totally different. And this is what it looks like when they burn. What did look like that. And then it looks like this. So the reason why they do that is because obviously when you have pine trees, you end up with pine straw. So the forest floor is littered with pine straw, which if it's struck by lightning or somebody throws out a cigarette butt, it's very easy to spark off a forest fire. And it's about a year and a half ago, maybe my date's wrong, there was a pretty significant forest fire here in coastal North Carolina. So by doing controlled burns, and even you can see where they've built those little banks, they're able to mitigate the damage that can be done by wildfires. I mean, they do that all over the country, but here in Eastern North Carolina, that's how they do it. Ooh, I got sweat dripping down my nose. There's another random ecology fact in case you didn't know this. There are certain species of pine trees that will not release their seeds from their pine cones if it's not activated by heat. So while I don't think that that's a reason why they do controlled burns, I know that like burning in general is part of nature. It's something that happens even, you know, in the wild. You can't completely control it. And so Mother Nature had made this beautiful thing of certain species. When the heat is enough, it releases its seeds. When the seeds fall, they fall to the floor that is not, where those seedlings won't be choked out by underbrush. So you can see on this side, this surely has not been burnt that long ago because it's pretty clear and you can see through, where this is much more open. So obviously the light can filter down and get to the seedlings so they can grow up big and strong. This gravel's a little bit chunkier. Whee! But I like it. I think I've forgotten how much I love riding. I've seen a couple butterflies or moths, I'm not really sure which one, first of the season. The birds are happy. Man. I remember when I first moved to eastern North Carolina that I thought it was kind of ugly here. I'd moved from Pennsylvania where everything was super green and the big trees and these pines were tall and scraggly, but now I think there's something super special about it. Not I think, there is. I know there is. All right, I'm about done. Heading back to the car. Look at that. Hello there, little friend. Okay, well, it may officially be spring. Saw the butterflies or moths. One yellow, the yellow ones and the orange ones, and my little snake friend. Hello. I'm glad I didn't run over it. I made it back. There's my trusty Land Rover companion up there. Yay! Alright, I wish we'd have done this where it wasn't quite as noisy from the highway, but I just want to kind of go over what I had on my bike today after not riding for a long time. So I've got my chum bucket, snack bag, a top bar bag, 2 water bottles, my seat bag, which has just kind of more like emergency stuff. I brought a couple of drip drops, which I drank one of them. I ate my granola bar and I ate one bite of banana. I do have an extra shirt in case I got hot. That's a sleeveless. Then in here I've got some toilet paper, a butt wipe, gum, my keys. This is my little phone tripod and an inhaler. And I keep a business card. I don't know if you can see it down in there. It's way down in there. But that has my information in case something ever happened to me. There is some identification on me. And my car key. So, let's talk about things that I forgot. My gloves, they're in the car. Also in the car are my lights, which I did not mount because I was in a hurry once I got here. So it was riding without lights. Luckily, I think we passed 2 cars on the whole route. So, no big deal. All right, she did good. Okay, so my Surly did amazing for her maiden voyage for the spring. The only trouble that I had was one item with the bike, and that was I think it was the rear tire, this one. The Presta valve was really hard to get air in, which I'm running tubeless, and so it has that, I actually don't even know what it's called, but the stuff that's in it that helps glue it up to make it tubeless, so it gets real tacky over the winter, and I had a really hard time getting air in it. But it did. It was enough, so that was fine. I had oiled up my chain yesterday, aired up the tires, took her for a little test run, wiped her down, ran through all the gears several times. I don't think that I've ridden since October, maybe November, and she's been in the garage all winter. So yeah, the only issue that I had was with so you can see what else is missing is my bike rack. The pen is missing. So she's going in my car, which is not a easy fit. I think it's one more reason to start looking into investing in another vehicle. I look ridiculous. Eating my apple on the way home. Did forget to show in my gear that I've had my hanky. I always carry a handkerchief because I sweat so bad. So I normally have that in my pocket. That way I can give myself a good wipe down. If I get hot, I can douse it with water and cool myself off. So I've got an apple. I've got most of a banana left, but I really need some protein. I don't need to eat all those carbs without eating some protein. So I think I will eat me a really, really good lunch once I get home. But I ended up doing 23.6 miles today. And for the first ride of the season, it feels really good to be able to get out and do that many miles on the first go. I'm pretty proud of myself. I feel really good. I don't feel bonked or anything, and my butt doesn't feel super sore. I was really concerned like 10 miles and be like, nope, my booty is done. But yeah, I probably could have gone 25, no problem. And so that's pretty exciting. I'm actually really excited about that. So, and my bike back there. When I had been looking at the trees and thinking about the pine cones and how sometimes it takes fire to release the pine cone seeds, and how the fires will go and clear out the underbrush so that the seeds can actually grow, because they'll be able to get sunlight, and then there's nutrition from the burnt. I'm sure nutritionally there's chemicals that I don't know about, and ash and all those things. But I was kind of thinking of how, like in our lives, those exact same things happen. Sometimes it takes the fire, like the really hard things in life, like, feed to the flame kind of things, to really be able to give us what we need to grow and kind of transition into that next season of life, right? Like, this pine tree drops pine cone, which produces another of its, another pine tree, and it's part of the cycle of life. And we don't always like move really easily from one cycle of life or one season of life to the other. In fact, I can definitely say people like me, or how I have been most of my life, it's really difficult for me. I get very ingrained and very like stuck in those places, and in a mentality like that this is what I need to be doing, this is what success looks like. And the truth is that's not always the case. And sometimes it takes something, that looks devastating to come along and just kind of clear out the underbrush, and it actually helps release those seeds in a way that we otherwise on our own would have never been able to do. So I think that the point to that is that, one, when those kind of like the trials, those fires of life come, most recently for me, that looked like a very stressful divorce, and a relationship that just would not recover and get on the same page, which then led to a divorce, and then an absentee father figure for my children. It was really hard, like the hardest thing I've ever been through in my whole life. And you can definitely say it was fire. It was trial by fire for sure. And I didn't handle all the situations very well. I didn't want to move from kind of one season of that to the next. It was very difficult to move through those. And now coming out the other side, I can definitely say how thankful that I am for that fire, because I would have never ever opened myself up like that pine cone to release those seeds, to really be able to grow and to the person that I feel like I am and am becoming. So the second part of that is that, I do think that fires and trials in life will clear the underbrush and allow more of that sunlight to come into our lives. And I think for me, that looked like, in this particular season that I'm referencing, it looked like I physically, emotionally, and mentally could not continue to do the things that I had been doing. So I couldn't continue the commitments. I couldn't continue the go, the run, be busy. Even the level of work that I was doing, I had to throttle back or it was going to take me down. And so it literally created a canvas, right? A space that I could be nourished and go slow. And even though it kind of looked kind of yucky from the outside, right? Because, you know, it kind of was a little depressing. Even sometimes I would look at it and be like, oh, this is kind of depressing. It actually created like I said, a canvas or a playing field, which was in such a way that I could begin to grow. I would never be able to grow into the person that I'm supposed to be, staying in the place and the mindset that I was. And in trying to continue to do all the things I was doing with the people that I was doing it with, which that's my part B of that, is that fire also, it really eliminated some people out of my life. There's certain people that won't traverse that fire with you, and people that you think are in your circle that don't end up being in your circle in the end. And it's very sad and it's hard while you're going through it, but when you come out the other side, you realize I wouldn't have been able to plant myself properly and grow if those personalities, those kind of demands on my life, that energy from those individuals, if that was still in my life. So cheers to the fire that helps us grow.